Well, hello everyone. Last day of 2024, the 31st, Tuesday. Cheers. Well, I'm really not surprised, but I also think it's slightly hypocritical that the video that I put up for Frangabon was removed for um, going against community standards on YouTube, which is totally hypocritical. In the video, there are two brief snatches of a nude woman in a subway. And I know that there's plenty of nudity on YouTube and other stuff. Doesn't bother me at all. Not really surprised, but it's interesting. I sometimes feel like people are targeted in social media on these different platforms. Like some of the people who get banned from Facebook for time periods because of so-called community standards, and then they can't get an answer about the ludicrous nature of the ban. Well, it looks like you're trying to get likes, so we took that down. It's just, it's just unfortunate, that things aren't right. So if you saw the video, you saw it. It was no big deal. The main thing is I wanted you to hear the music. I'm smiling because it's just, what a weird world we live in. And a lot of people who have the power to shape events in this world are the least qualified, just some of the most shitty people. But like I said, I don't know. But I wasn't surprised. To move on, I don't have any records to show because yesterday was a fantastic day. Cubby showed up, and sure enough, Blake showed up, and we had a fantastic visit and recording session. The Muse 2 is officially started. We did a group improvisation based on Cubby's psaltery or zither, whatever you call it. It's a beautiful instrument. It's, someone handmade this, and some craftsman. He bought it in New York. The wood on it is beautiful. Now the pickup on it is, wish it had a better pickup, but we did an improvisation and it was magical. These are my musical brothers, and we are connected deeply through our not only our love of music, because Cubby and Blake are deep listeners like me, but they're real musicians, and they're excited by music and activated by playing music. The three of us couldn't be more different as people, and that's also what makes it work. Cubby is a young, very spiritual and deep-thinking man. He's a philosophy major in college as well, but it's in his nature. He's a seeker, and he's spiritual too, not religious, but spiritual. Seeking answers, trying to understand things in clarity. I really relate to that about him. Blake isn't like that at all, but Blake is a good person. Blake is not a dirty dog. He is a good person. He's a chick magnet, and I do mean it like that. He is a babe, and so he's got women problems all the time, and we like to tease him. They're my musical brothers, but they're also like my kids. I had to pinch Blake in the cheek yesterday when it was so good to see him. I've known them since Cubby was literally a teenager. He's 27 now. And Blake is still, I think Blake just turned 30, but he's got that baby face. So we were teasing him. We're doing the session, and Blake is one of those people who can't stay off the phone. And I catch him showing something to Cubby, and I tease him, well, he's showing you booty pictures, isn't he? And Blake said, and kept saying, yeah, yeah, but not naked pictures, but showing me some girls. It was wonderful. So the Muse 2 is officially started as a result of the session yesterday. We could use the track the way it is and might, but to me, it was like, this is what I want. The first Muse album is me, my material. I wrote everything, and they added. And I wanted to see if we could go further in the collaboration and write together or create together. And yesterday we did a piece that was started by Cubby on the zither, where he played by himself and got into a zone. That's what I love. It's like, just leave him alone. And about 2 minutes in, he was in a zone, and it was just, I have it on I recorded. It's shimmering. It's beautiful, cascading, and it was having an effect on both me and Blake. It was like, wow. So afterwards, I added a pad, and Blake added some horn. And it's magical. It reminded all three. I've said it. I said, this reminds me of those moments when we were playing in Chemicals together, improvising, and we'd hit a hot spot, and afterwards we'd look up at and look around and look at each other and think, what just happened? Because it would be so powerful. So I'm happy to say that the Muse 2 is underway. It was cool. I heard from Michael Cashmore. I reviewed his new CD yesterday, and I got a message from him, thanking me. I didn't go into detail talking to him. It's cool, man. It's cool. So I don't have a gig. I haven't played a New Year's Eve gig in a long time. Don't miss it at all. Shared a couple of good stories with Blake and Cubby yesterday. See, they excite me. When we get to hanging out, we get to talking, and they're so much younger than me that they conjure up these stories, and they, thankfully, they enjoy the stories. They like hearing. That will lead me to show one album here, and is it still here that I can show? I showed them, yeah, because I hadn't seen both of them in a while, and we were kind of going over the year after we played, and we're just kind of hanging out for a bit and listening to some music. I shared with them some of the things I did this year, like the 5-year celebration at Low End album, and this one, the Deep Entries, the gay themed album that uses one of my tracks from the very second record I made, but my first solo EP. And we had a good laugh about this because I'm not gay. They're both young men, very good looking. And that's, they were teasing me, because they had never heard this music of mine. And I was explaining, And then as we're listening to the song, they're teasing me, in a very teasy. Ooh, I could see where they kind of thought that was kind of slinky and sexy. I'm saying, yeah, get out of here. You're so silly. I'm honored. Seriously, I'm honored to have my track included. And more power to gay people. I'm just, it's not my thing, So that's really what I have to share. And I have no plans for today except the fact that I'm activated again from yesterday and have a couple ideas that I may start today recording. That's really about it. Yeah. Okay, I'll do a poll, and I'll try to go somewhere where I don't usually go, like down here. Okay, so what do we have? Let's see. Weather report. Well, weather report should be almost as well known as the Eagles by now. They were groundbreaking, and jazz moved in new directions thanks to the work of these guys. Of course, the work of the guys, even before they went weather report, was history making. Wayne Shorter, Joe Zawinul, the two main guys, and then the people they would surround themselves with, including, of course, Jaco Pastorius, but almost everyone else that's been in the band. Major players, wonderful music. And this album is good. Mr. Gone, yeah, what's punk jazz? Pastorius has a composition on here called Punk Jazz. It's badass. It really is. So, I'm not real, I see in social media that it's a big deal for a lot of people to do these year in review posts, and I'm just going to keep going day to day. And if something pops up, I will share it. But that's not important to me. Never had. Maybe it was a long time ago when I was younger. But it does remind me that one thing that I did see yesterday that I'm happy about as the year wraps up is that Inner Image, my CD Inner Image, made a best of list for the year. The best of list by Jose Ziguera Holder and Adele Schmidt, the people that put out the progressive rock DVD series. They've done one in Canterbury, Krautrock, some other ones. Really well done. I think they're working either on Italy or France right now. But Inner Image made their best of the year list, which I'm really happy about because a while back, Jose was real honest with me and said that he wished that I would make my compositions longer. And I appreciated the feedback, and I responded by continuing to do what I do. And if the piece ends up being longer, then it's longer. And I take it as an acknowledgement that Mr. Holder, Jose, recognizes my artistry. This is what I do. So it was wonderful to see it on this list with all these other cool records, made the best of the year list. Which reminds me to share that when I saw David Nance the other day, when I went to Grapefruit to pick up my gifts, and we talked a little bit about stuff, and I asked him about music and stuff. So I said, you probably don't know this, but your album Mode Sound was nominated for Album of the Year here in Omaha. He didn't know. He didn't care. I knew he wouldn't. That stuff is meaningless to David. And that's another thing that I love about him is that he's just who he is, unpretentious. And his nomination for Album of the Year means more to me than it does to him. It's just because I'm on the record. So that was kind of funny. It meant nothing to him. Nothing at all. So that's what I have to share, people. And yeah, what a strange world. Does anyone really think that America is going to actually end up in better shape next year with the incoming presidency? How is that even possible? Except for a small number of people with big fat pockets. At least that's the way it looks to me, and that seems to be the game that's been going on since before I was born, and it'll be going on after I'm born. We stay at the bottom, they stay at the top. Anyway, Happy New Year.